and Technical Committee deliberations, the National Dialogue Committee will this Wednesday determine the next course of action at the Bomas of Kenya and perhaps set their agenda to determine how to resolve unresolved difficulties. As Mike Kagwongo now reports, both Kenya Kwanza and Azimio representatives still have contentious issues, among them the cost of living and IEBC reconstitution agenda.
We cannot force people to come before this court.
As the clock ticks towards the conclusion of the 60-day timeline for the completion of the bipartisan talks, the committee is debating the grievances that the opposition has raised with the government. The bipartisan committee invited members of the public to submit their memoranda on various issues, including outstanding constitutional matters, electoral justice and related matters, entrenching funds into the Constitution, establishment and entrenchment of state offices and fidelity to political parties, and the law on multi-party democracy. According to observers, if political interests and suggestions made by various stakeholders to the National Dialogue Committee over the past 2 weeks are included in the final recommendations, Kenyans are therefore likely to have a referendum.
Which route to follow is provided for in Article 255 that says that any matter that touches on sovereignty of the people, term limit of the president, Bill of Rights, structure of devolution, functions of parliament, and all the commissions under Chapter 15, that issue must go to the people through a referendum. We are aware that the people of Kenya, both sides, have produced issues at NADCO that will require a referendum. And therefore can tell you confidently that there are certain issues that for them to be addressed fully, they will have to go to a referendum.
2 of the 5 subject areas on which all interested parties were required to submit memos called for constitutional modifications. The biggest disagreement in the negotiations is the audit of the presidential election from last year. UDA stated earlier that they will be amenable to an audit of the election's conduct rather than its outcome.
We have proposed as Azimio that we are not only going for an audit. No, we are going for forensic audit and system audit. That means we are going to look at, we look at the entire IEBC infrastructure.
Talking about an audit of the presidential election, so what? As in what will they find out?
But even as the talks set to resume Wednesday, the National Assembly Finance and Planning Committee's chairperson Molo MP Kuria Kimani is of the opinion that the 10-member committee is wasting Kenyans' time instead of taking the contentious submissions before the House Business Committee for deliberations.
As in what outcome will it possibly bring? If we are talking about the composition of IBC, the approval of IBC will be done through the National Assembly. So why are they going to discuss the composition of IBC in Bomas instead of discussing it in the floor of the National Assembly, where they are elected to talk?
But if submitted ideas are passed, they will set the stage for a referendum to address specific concerns about creation of new counties and other elements. The cost of living is also Azimio la Umoja One Kenya's demands. According to Azimio, this is attributed to high tax proposals occasioned by approval of Finance Act, with Azimio also threatening that the talks shall not see the light of the day should this fail to be agreed on. According to the opposition, defying party policies in exchange for meager favors from those in power will not be accepted in the party.
If there is any issue that the members of parliament feel that they are no longer comfortable in their original party and they want to move, they should resign and seek fresh mandate. We
stop this behavior of political parties being personal properties of some people to having parties that are owned by the members.
Before the disagreements resurfaced as the discussions went on, Azimio and Kenya Kwanza appeared to have finally given up their staunch opinions. However, the committee may seek an additional time of 30 days to conclude the matter, with only 20 days left to call it a day on this second phase. Mike Kagwango, TV 47, Nairobi.
Basi hata kama ni dakika moja.